If your welcome flow is just one email that says, hey, here's 10% off, thanks for subscribing, we need to talk. That's not a welcome flow, that's a greeting card, and greeting cards don't pay rent. Most welcome flows that I see are leaving serious money on the table. We're talking 20%, 30%, even up to 40% of potential revenue just gone because people set up 1 or 2 emails and just call it a day. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to build a 6-part email welcome series in Klaviyo step by step. The same structure I use with clients that are paying me thousands of dollars to set this up for them. And if you want the full framework that I'm using, every flow, every email, every touch point, every sequence in the flow, I have a couple free resources in the description that you can check out. Go grab it, follow along, thank me later. All right, let's get into it. So first, we'll talk about why welcome flows even matter in the first place. So usually the welcome series is typically the first flow that I'll ever set up for a brand just because of the sheer amount of revenue or potential revenue that can come in with it. Typically, the welcome series is gonna have be the biggest performer in terms of revenue. It's gonna have the highest open rates. It's gonna be the highest performing automation that you'll ever build. And that's mostly because, all the traffic that's coming to your website, they're gonna be getting the pop-up form, and all the emails that are being, put into that pop-up form, they're going to be getting the welcome series. So that's why there's so much engagement and so much room for growth on that welcome series. It's obviously, the first thing that anyone would want to build out. And again, it can, the welcome series alone can drive 5 to 10% of your total email revenue, which is, incredible. And again, subscribers are most engaged in the first 24 to 72 hours. So that welcome series is just a really good opportunity to get in front of your potential customers or, potential, people that are most likely to buy your product while they're still hot, basically. So there's 6 emails here. I put the timing for each one of these right here as well. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So the timing is the first one, we want to send it immediately and we want to deliver the discount. Second one, 12 hours later. Third one on day 2 to 3. Fourth one on day 5, the 5th one on day 7, and the 6th one on day 9. Don't get too hung up on the actual timing between each of these. We want to have a 1 to 2 day time delay. I always recommend that you A/B test the time delays between each of the emails so you can really determine what works best for your brand. But by default, I like to kind of have a 1 to 2 day split, kind of a break between each email, with the exception of the first 2 emails. The first one obviously needs to be sent immediately to have the biggest impact, and then the second one I like to send 12 hours later. And I'm gonna dive into the exact, strategies here for that. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna go into Klaviyo to set up the welcome series. You'll go to flows on the very left and you'll go to create flow. And you're gonna go to build your own. And for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna title this LTV welcome series. And you're gonna hit create manually. Now, on the right side, it's gonna prompt you what list that you wanna have this flow triggered by. So basically what it's asking is when do we want to trigger this welcome series? Is it when someone enters a specific list? In this case, yes, it's whatever list is tied to your sign up form. So if your sign up form is tied to newsletter, you want to select newsletter for that. So in this case, I'll just select newsletter and you'll hit save. And now you want to go ahead and drag an email over here. This first email is going to be sent immediately. And you want to make sure that you're unchecking the box that's skipping recently emailed profiles, because if someone received an email recently, we don't want to prevent this email from being sent out, basically. So we're going to go ahead and unselect that. Now in the actual trigger column right here, we're going to add a couple different profile filters. So if someone has placed an order, we want to take them out of this flow right away. So we're going to go select what someone has done. Someone has placed order 0 times over all time. So what this specific conditional split is going to say is basically if someone has placed an order in their history of their life, then they're not going to be receiving this flow entirely. And the reason for that is because the welcome series is only going to be dedicated to people that have never placed an order before. It's for new subscribers essentially. So, if someone is already a previous customer, then they should not be receiving this flow. So place order 0 times over all time. And we'll do one more filter right here where it's what someone has done. And we'll do placed order 0 times since starting this flow. So what this filter means is that if someone is going through this flow, and let's say they buy something on the 3rd or 4th email, they're going to be taken out of the flow immediately. And basically that's what this condition is saying is place order 0 times since starting this flow. So if someone has placed an order 0 times since starting this flow, then obviously they're going to, continue to receive the rest of the emails. So these 2 conditions are what you need for this flow. And so we have the emails right here, and then we have time delays that we can set up as well. So you put the time delay, you'll just put it underneath the email. So for example, if we wanted to wait 12 hours between email number 1 and email number 2, we're going to put 12 hours here. And then we'll put email number 2 right here as well. And then obviously make sure to remove the skip recently email profile. So that's how you set up the first couple emails right here. Again, Biggest thing is that you want to make sure that this is tied to the newsletter. And if you go to the newsletter list, one thing I also wanted to mention as well, if that's important, is you want to make sure that when you set up a new list on Klaviyo, you want to go to settings and you want to go to consent, and you want to make sure that single opt-in is turned on, because the reason for that is because we don't want to send an email to someone that's saying, hey, here's an email to confirm your subscription, because it's going to be another kind of a loop that someone has to jump through. So we want to make it as easy as possible for someone to get that first email. So again, we don't want to do double opt-in because that's going to send like a confirmation subscription email. We just want to do a single opt-in. So someone, as soon as someone enters their email in the sign up form, they're going to be getting it right away. Now going back here, we're going to be going over the first email. So the first email, main thing that you want to do here is just deliver the promise, right? This is going to be a designed email, meaning that there's going to be images and text within the email. And the key touch points that you really want to focus on here is that you want to have an incentive above the fold. So the discount, whether it's 10%, 15% off, etc., should be the first thing that they see. You want to have a short brand intro, who you are, what you stand for, etc. And you want to highlight some unique selling points as well. So if you guys are made in-house, if your product is sustainable, if you guys offer like a lifetime guarantee, these are all really, really critical points that you might want to mention in your first email. And maybe even mention like a featured customer review for social proof as well. And then underneath that, you want to have a very strong CTA button that directly leads people to your website and allows them to apply the discount code that you offered. So a couple subject lines you could do for the first email is like, here's your 10% off, or welcome to your brand, your code is inside. Email number 2 is the founder check-in. So here's where you want to do kind of like a plain text style email. And maybe you've seen this before, but like basically it's kind of like an email that's just black and white text. It's almost as if a friend is writing to another friend. Kind of humanizes the brand a little bit and makes the customer feel like you're not just another brand that's sending out mass emails. Kind of makes the founder feel a little bit more genuine, and that they actually care about the subscriber or the customer. So the key touch points here is that you want to have that timing acknowledgement. So saying something along the lines of like, hey, I know you just joined a few hours ago, etc. You want to have a warm personal tone as well. Like I said, you want to write like you're just emailing one person. It's really going to give off that impression because plain text style email, it doesn't have any crazy bells and whistles. You want to have a founder's voice with short brand backstory. So feel free to, use your personality here. If you have a good sense of humor, you might want to kind of mention that and make customers understand like who you are as a founder. And you want to, mention the soft discount in the email as well. You want to also mention some optional product mention. So basically, if you guys offer multiple products on your site and there's a few of them that that are popular, maybe you can mention that towards the end of the email. You can be like, hey, by the way, these are a couple products that our customers are really loving right now. And then, possibly link them to that specific collection or that to that specific product page. At the end, you want to have a simple sign off with PS inviting replies. So what that means is that at the end of your email, you can say like, hey, PS, if you have any specific questions about this product or my brand, feel free to respond back to this email. I read each and every single one of these emails, and when a customer actually sees that, it's incredible. Like we've implemented this for some of our clients, and they always tell us like there's so many people that are responding back to this second founder check-in email because they actually genuinely think that the founder is reaching out to them. So this email is really, really powerful, and it's going to improve deliverability as well because Klaviyo doesn't have a bunch of images that are just taking up majority of the emails. It's a plain HTML based email. So this is a really, really powerful email to put in your sequence. So again, this is the second email that's going to be sent 12 hours after email number 1. Email number 3 is going to be the brand story and urgency. So again, this is going to be a designed style email, not a plain text. The key touch points here is, like I said, you want to focus on your brand story, maybe highlight a little bit more about the founder story, maybe why you started this company, what sort of difference that you wanted to make with your products. You also can mention that, this is the last chance discount reminder. Sometimes you can save that for maybe the 4th or 5th email. Sometimes you can even put that a little bit earlier, depending on when you want your discount to expire. What I would recommend is having it in this email just to instill a little bit more urgency. So that way people can, use that discount code on that 3rd email. Again, the founder story, why you started, the problem that you solve, and what mission you're out to achieve. And if you have a team that you work with, maybe some people that work closely with you, in a warehouse, or maybe someone that really helps you in your business, showing a picture of them and kind of introducing the team and letting them know like, hey, we're here for you. This is our team, small tight-knit team, and this is what we do. Kind of humanizes the business a little bit and makes customers feel like they're shopping from a small business rather than like a huge corporation. Now, don't get me wrong, you guys could still be a huge corporation, but I think when customers are buying things online, they want to know that they can, trust the brand and that kind of just another number. So that's kind of the idea there. Obviously, we want to share the brand mission and vision, and we want to have an emotional CTA, basically inviting them to support the mission here. Email number 4 is where we'll dive into social proof and pain points. So some key touch points here is that we want to call out the top 2 to 3 pain points your customers face, right? Typically, products often solve quite a bit of issues. So if you want to mention some of those pain points and even match each pain point with a specific customer review, that's going to be really, really powerful, because not only are you addressing the pain point, but then you're showing them a customer that's had an experience of buying your product and kind of relieving that pain point through your product. So that's a great way to do that. And that's going to help to build trust, increase conversions by showing that social proof and building the trust there. You want to emphasize social proof with bold pull quotes. So you can have like quotes around, specific customer testimonials. Star ratings work really well. Review count. You can even mention the press. So if you guys are in credible magazines, Forbes, Men's Health, that type of thing, you guys can mention that in the email. That's going to build credibility incredibly. And then obviously you want to have a clear CTA to experience the same benefits. So huge pattern that you've probably noticed is that there's always going to be a clear CTA. There's likely going to be multiple CTAs within each of the emails. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent of email number 4. Email number 5 is going to be the best seller spotlight. So now is an opportunity to showcase and feature your best-selling product. You could have multiple best-selling products, obviously, but if there's one in specific, like if there's like a hero product that is like your number one, gateway entry point, we definitely want to mention that. You want to explain why it's a bestseller, the key benefits, the unique features. Definitely incorporate customer reviews specific to that product as well. And we want to educate quickly. We want to assume that they know very, very little about your products, and we want to make sure that we want to treat them like a baby, basically, and really just go into extreme detail on why this is the best-selling product and what makes this product, so different than your competitors. And again, you want to have a focused CTA to shop the bestseller as well. Email number 6 is the final urgency Hail Mary email. So this is going to be a plain text email similar to email number 2, and it's going to send about a day or two after email number 5. So what we're going to be doing here is, if your margins allow for it, we're going to slightly upgrade the discount. So we're going to bump it from, let's say if you guys had a 10% discount beginning on the sign up form, we'll bump it up 5% to 15%. And that's gonna basically what this strategy is like discount layering. Essentially, someone at this point, after they've received 5 emails, they still haven't converted at 10%. Maybe it's the pricing that's still holding them back. So increasing it by 5% to 15% could be the thing that makes them jump over the edge. And it's not really a huge jump either. So 10% to 15% would be ideal. You want to have a hard 24-hour deadline with clear language. Really just make it clear to them like, hey, this is ending tonight. There's only a few hours left. I'm serious. You want to make sure that you're definitely stern with it. We're not sending any more emails after this. Again, extreme urgency tone to drive impulse action. You're going to have one strong CTA link, and we're going to link directly to the store, ideally with the discount code applied. There's a specific way that you can do this. Basically, it's like your website /discount/ whatever the discount code is. Comment on the video if you want that. I'm happy to respond back to you with what that link could look like for your brand. And then you want to have a founder signature for a personal, credible finish. You're always going to sign off with the founder's emails with your first and last name, and then founder, comma, and then your brand name. That'll be your signature. And yeah, before you go live with your welcome series, there's a few, different checkpoints that you might want to go through. So number 1, you want to proofread all of your emails. Make sure that there's obviously no grammar errors, no typos, nothing that shouldn't be in there. You want to test the discount codes. You want to click every single link, make sure there's no broken links and that they all link to the right place. Maybe even send yourself some test emails and check it on both your mobile device and your desktop device as well, just to make sure that everything looks good. And then you're going to set email to live once all that's done. And then, at that point, you can go ahead and turn on the flow and then start producing revenue from your welcome flow. And that's it. You now have a 6-part email welcome series that actually convert. If you want the full framework, every flow, every email, every touch point, etc., all mapped out for you, I have a link in the description that you guys can go check out and download, along with 78 proven subject lines for each and every single one of these flows that you guys can go ahead and just swipe for me. Link is in the description if you'd like to go check that out. And if you're thinking this is great, but I'd rather just have someone do it for me, I completely get it. That's literally what I do. There's a link in the description if you'd like to book in a call with me. Love to meet you and kind of talk about your brand and see if there's anything that I can do to help in terms of the email marketing side of the business. We'll look at your setup together and figure out the fastest path for more revenue from your email channel. If this video helped you, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm going to publish new videos every single week. Thanks, guys.